there, this is Miss Caitlin from Fibo Kids Art Academy, and I'm here to share with you today another quick drawing warm-up. With St. Patrick's Day coming up, I want you guys to create a sketch of a leprechaun with me today. Now, what is St. Patrick's Day and why is it celebrated? Well, St. Patrick's Day is a cultural and religious holiday. It falls on March 17th, which is believed to be the death date of St. Patrick, who passed on March 17th in the year 461. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you a picture of St. Patrick while explaining a little bit more about this holiday and what makes it so important. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here we go. So here is sort of like this really beautiful illustration of St. Patrick, and basically what he is he is the patron saint of Ireland, a famous figure as well in Christianity. So St. Patrick was actually not himself Irish. He was born British to rather rich parents. And this is important because when he was just 16, he was kidnapped, I know, dramatic, kidnapped by Irish raiders who were attacking his family's home. He was then taken to Ireland. Obviously, he's very alone and afraid, and he had turned to his religion and became a very devout Christian. Now, over the course of his life, he incorporated a lot of Irish rituals and culture into Christian beliefs. This is because in Ireland, a lot of nature-based religions were being practiced, and so he kind of combined the two to explain his beliefs to the Irish people. So, again, this kind of is almost like Christianity coming to Ireland, but it incorporated a lot of Irish culture, which was very, very important. Now, the clovers, if you know St. Patrick's Day and kind of when we think of this, clovers in like the three-leaf clover, St. Patrick actually explained the Holy Trinity with the leaves of the clover. So the native Irish shamrock, you'll often see it associated with this holiday as well with St. Patrick for those reasons. So let me go ahead and show you just a table view here. So today we're gonna, like I said, create a picture of a leprechaun. In this case, it's Fibo jumping out of a pot of gold, which, hey, wait a second, where do leprechauns come in this story? Well, again, Irish folklore and Irish religions, very nature-based, and there's a lot of really fascinating and really beautiful myths, as well as just stories that get told. One of these is a story of the leprechaun, which is a type of fairy. So leprechauns, I think they're rather interesting. They actually, in folklore, in Irish folklore, are the menders of shoes for all the other fairies. They're described as cranky, but they're also very tricksy, and they're tricksy and for these reasons because they have to hide their treasure. They don't want anybody to find it. So if you think of like, Lucky Charms, like the pot of gold, like, oh, he's after my Lucky Charms, think it kind of like that. That's rooted in sort of like the legend of leprechauns, where they have this hidden treasure and they're tricksy because they don't want anybody to find it, even though they can be quite grumpy. But our leprechaun today is not going to be very grumpy at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So for this, again, it's just a quick sketch. Go ahead and just take out a piece of sketch paper, something that you're going to be okay with, maybe, just warming up your drawing hands with today. And I also want you to take this paper and turn it vertical so that it's tall. Now, I want you also to use a pencil and eraser to draw today, but you're going to see me draw it with a Sharpie and just a couple of markers. This is just so that you can see my pencil lines, or really just as I'm working. Okay? All right, so I'm going to give us some basic shapes, so that way if you want to make maybe a different character or a different kind of leprechaun, you can. We're just going to make it very simple for us today. Okie dokie. So to begin, I want us to draw just a circle. Now, because this is our sort of main subject of our sketch today, don't make this circle small on your paper. You want this to be kind of big. Next, I want you to draw just 2 lines underneath, like a pretty good number 11. This way our character, our leprechaun, will be jumping out of its pot of gold. You can have the arms up in the air by drawing simply 2 curved lines. And then let's go ahead and just close off this shape down here. We can make it fancy, maybe look like, there's gold or little coins, whatever kind of treasure you want to have for your leprechaun be there. All right. So next, let's go ahead and just prepare ourselves like the little cauldron that maybe the treasure is being held in. It doesn't have to be a cauldron per se. It could be something else. But I think in a lot of times now in modern days, when we think of like a leprechaun and like a pot of gold, it's usually going to be like a pot or a cauldron of some kind. So to do that, you just need 2 curved lines and 2 curved lines to close that off. And last but not least, a really big curved line on the bottom, almost as if you were going to draw a circle to create that, the pot. All right, for the hat, very important. We often see leprechauns with these, in drawings these days, with these really large green hats. To do a hat, you're going to go to the top of the head. You're going to first start off by drawing 2 lines. You can draw these diagonal, you can draw them horizontal. It's really up to you, the position of your hat. But once you have them, close that off. To make a hat like me today, draw 2 curved lines up, and then close it off with a wide rainbow. Now check it out. As we just drew that, there are some lines here that we don't really need. So I'm going to show you which lines you need to erase. And I'll do this in green, since it is St. Patrick's Day. So these lines here you want to erase. You no longer need that top part of the head. Okay, from here you can also add some decoration. You might sometimes see like a band or like a belt around the top of the hat, so you could just draw a curved line, number 11, and a square on the inside to create the buckle. And from here you can go ahead and design what kind of look you want your leprechaun to have. If you're going to draw Fibo, like me, Fibo has 2 really big eyes. So you'll have to draw 2 pretty big circles on the head here. Fibo's eyes on his head are actually quite low on his face. And then you can draw 2 sort of like curved lines like that, and then some shine. Maybe he's super happy. And then Fibo also has this kind of white portion of his face on the bottom. You can draw his eyebrows. And then we can give him a little coat. Now for the coat, I'm going to draw 2 sleeves. And I no longer need that line from the arm because the sleeve is covering that. We don't see through the sleeve. So if you are doing the same, take your eraser and erase those lines. I'll draw another very thin number 11 on the inside, and then 2 sideways letter M's to create the sort of collar of the coat. All right, it's coming together. From here, again, you can decide what kind of treasure you have. Mine's going to be the classic pot of gold, and again, he's kind of jumping out of the pot of gold, like surprise. So there's probably little gold pieces flying everywhere. If you want, you could even add curved lines to the pot of gold, just to make sure that you erase any of those extra lines from before, because now your shape has changed. So I would erase that curved line from before. You could add a rainbow in your background and really have a lot of fun with the composition here. Again, this is just a quick sketch to maybe get us warmed up for the drawing today, but I will show you what this looks like without all those eraser lines. So without all the eraser lines, it looks something kind of like this. Now you can spend some time filling it in so that it looks kind of like the example I showed you at the beginning. I'll go ahead and bring that back now. So you can color it in and have a lot of fun. Remember, leprechauns are usually wearing green. Now that does it for today's quick drawing warm-up. I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you all again very soon for another drawing warm-up. Bye for now, everybody.